They expected to capture Ukraine in 3-4 days, but didn't do it even in 11 months. Moreover, our military have already liberated 63% of the territories that Russia managed to occupy since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. The American Institute for the Study of War reports. How the map of hostilities has changed since the February 24th, see in our review.
At dawn of February the 24th, the whole Ukraine woke up to the whistling of rockets, manual explosions and the piercing sound of sirens.
I have decided to conduct a special military operation. Early in the morning, Russia wildly attacked our country, just like Nazi Germany did during the Second World War. Ukraine is attacked from the north, east and south, as well as from the air.
Russians intruded into Ukraine from the territory of Russia, Belarus and the occupied Crimea. They planned to capture our country in 3-4 days, but that didn't happen. Though after the first 5 days of the invasion, Russian troops controlled nearly 119,000 square kilometers of Ukrainian territory, according to the American Institute for the Study of War. And despite the heroic resistance of the Ukrainian military, in less than a month the occupiers have seized more than a quarter of Ukraine's territory. This was the maximum the occupiers managed to gain at any stage since the beginning of the invasion. In late March, Ukraine's armed forces pushed Russian troops away from Kiev. On March the 31st, the occupiers left the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, and during April the 1st, the 2nd, the entire Kiev region was liberated. By April the 8th, Zhytomyr, Chernihiv and Sumy regions were completely deoccupied. And on April the 13th, Ukrainian defenders fired 2 Neptune missiles at the Russian missile cruiser Moskva, which at the beginning of the invasion offered to surrender to the defenders of the Snake Island. In a matter of days, Russia lost about 40% of the gains it had made since the beginning of the invasion and focused on a new plan to capture the entire Donbass. At this stage, Ukraine's most significant strategic defeat was the loss of control over Mariupol. For more than a month, almost 1,000 Ukrainian border guards, police officers, Marines, National Guard, Territorial Defense and Azov Regiment soldiers heroically defended Azovstal plant under a complete blockade. On May the 16th, the 17th, they surrendered under international guarantees, which Russia subsequently violated.
86 days of defense of Mariupol, the top military leadership gave an order to save the lives and health of the garrison soldiers and to stop the defense of the city.
Russian troops also took control of 2 strategic logistics centers in Luhansk region. Thus, on June the 24th, they entered Severodonetsk and Lysychansk on July the 3rd. Since then, the occupiers have not announced the capture of new territories, having taken, according to the Russian leadership, an operational pause. At the same time, according to the British intelligence, thanks to a series of brilliant operations, Ukraine's coastal defense neutralized Russia's ability to control the sea. On June the 17th, the Russian tugboat Vasily Bech, which was carrying weapons, was sunk, and on June the 20th, strikes were carried out on oil rigs seized in 2014 off the coast of Crimea, as well as on the Snake Island. The Russians left it on June the 30th. In early September, a sudden Ukrainian counter-offensive in the northeast pushed Russian forces back by more than 50 kilometers in some places along a wide front in Kharkiv region. On September the 11th, the Ukrainian army retook 4,000 square kilometers overnight, according to ISW, marking the largest push they have made in a single day. And on September the 14th, President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Kharkiv region was almost completely liberated from Russian occupiers. In addition, in late August, the armed forces of Ukraine launched a counter-offensive in Kherson region.
Now we have no electricity in the city, no water, no central supply heating, no mobile connection, no internet connection. But we have no Russians. And I'm extremely happy of that.
This is one of the most touching moments of this terrible war. Residents of Kherson rejoice at the occupation. Ukrainian troops entered the city on November the 11th. They still continue to liberate the settlements of Kherson region on the left bank of the Dnieper River. More than 60 towns and villages in Donbass have also been liberated. The fiercest fighting is currently taking place on the outskirts of the currently occupied town of Svatovo in Luhansk region and Bakhmut in Donetsk region. Our military call the last spot hell on earth. There are already mountains of Russian corpses around the city, but the enemies do not stop the offensive.
The Russians confirmed to have untrained troops who go to the first line to draw fire and reveal our position. And then more trained fighters go on the flanks, and we actually fight with them. We destroy the first ones and fight with the second ones.
According to the latest data announced by the Ukrainian authorities, the armed forces of Ukraine have already liberated 1,888 settlements during the full-scale war. Almost the same number of Ukrainian cities and villages are currently under temporary occupation. Russia still controls 18% of Ukraine's internationally recognized territory, including Donbass and Crimea, the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine said.